Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.
Welcome back to the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast on SportsZone Chicago. It's like the Walking Dead over here, dude. We're just
Literally.
like two hungover zombies. But we're here for you guys and for football because we love to talk football. Big game right now, man. We got the Bears and the Vikings, and big game in the NFC South as well with your team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, facing off against the Atlanta Falcons, and of course the big game of the day. I feel like it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the New Orleans Saints. Drew Brees is coming back. I don't know if that's the best. We'll find out. I don't know if that's the best thing for Drew. I feel like the Saints are in. I feel like the Saints should be. I mean, you got a couple games left.
Yeah.
I feel like the Saints are they're in position to make the playoffs. So why go ahead and rush Drew Brees? I mean, are you worried about losing? Like, they really want that number one seed. I just feel like if you rush Drew and he gets landed on again, how many more ribs are going to snap? You know what I mean? Like, sorry to be so graphic, but how many more? He had 12 ribs, 12 crack ribs. Aren't they? How many ribs do you have? Like, you know what I'm saying? Isn't that all of them? Isn't that all of them? You know what I mean? Like, Drew Brees damn near broke all his ribs, and he's trying to come back and play. I feel like why? First of all, why not just throw Jameis out there? I don't think Taysom Hill is a second coming of Steve Young. No. I think what you're doing with Taysom Hill is all right to keep pace. Why not just hold Drew until the playoffs? You know what I'm saying? Why not hold him back, let him heal a little bit more, and then once playoff time rolls around, go ahead and let him loose. Yeah. I don't trust. Part of me doesn't trust that he's going to stay on his feet and not get body slammed to the ground one or two times.
Or shot in the rib. I mean, he doesn't even have to go to the ground. Like, someone could literally just hit him like as his arms extended, and come up underneath and bang. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many different scenarios where he could go.
Land flat, on the side.
It's crazy. What's it been? It's been like 3 or 4 weeks, right?
Yeah, it's about a month. It's been about a month.
I had some broken ribs, and I'll tell you what, it wasn't 3 or 4 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, and I wasn't getting hit by people. You know what I mean? Right. So it's going to be interesting to see. I feel like the only reason he's back is because they are playing the Chiefs.
Well, I mean, that's probably you want to see the best. The NFL's going to. They know the league's going to push.
Oh,
we saw that, and honestly, granted, both teams had COVID cases, which is understandable. I'm talking about that Thanksgiving game, Steelers-Ravens.
Yep.
Primetime game. The game was going to be, it was. We're all waiting for that game. Lions-Cowboys.
Right.
Okay, tradition. Whatever. We're waiting for Ravens-Steelers on Thursday night for Thanksgiving, and it ended up being a week later, or almost a week to the day later, on a Wednesday night that they played. But you saw a Broncos team have no quarterback.
Yeah. And
was forced to go ahead and play. Like I feel like maybe they were waiting because Lamar was on there. You had Dobbins on there.
Of course.
You had Ingram on there. You had players from the Steelers on there. There was primetime players.
Yeah.
In COVID protocol, and they extended the week.
Yeah.
So they could go ahead and try to finish that. They wanted to try to get the best players on the field. That's why they extended that the game. Or they kept pushing back the schedule because they wanted to make sure they tried to get. They got Lamar. Lamar obviously didn't play. It was RG3 and Chase McSorley.
Oh, McSorley.
And McSorley and that didn't work. That didn't work out well for them. But it is what it is. Like you would think other teams could go ahead and get away with that. But it's weird. For me, New Orleans, like for the Saints and Drew, just be safe. Just be safe, man.
Yeah, every time he gets hit, you're gonna be like, you know what I mean? Like,
you're gonna be like, oh my god, here it is. This is the one. Yeah.
So it's gonna be like, is he gonna get back up or is he gonna lay on the ground? You know what I mean? Like,
and
run the stretcher out there.
And Mike and I were just talking about. He had brought up. I think it was today, or he had brought up when Favre got taken out.
Yeah.
As far as last play, Corey Wooten slammed him to the frozen field of the Gopher Stadium up in Minnesota when the Vikings' new stadium was getting built.
Mm-hmm.
And man, that I remember that. Just looking at how it happened, I'm like, that's concrete. You just got slammed down. He's pretty much got frozen. Look, when you got a frozen surface like that, grass, I don't care what it did. It might as well be concrete.
Right, yeah.
Because you saw what happened before he was done. That was it. Last play. That was it. Sent him on his way. I don't want to see that for Drew Brees. I didn't want to see. I'm not gonna lie. Part of me was like, yes, it's over. I don't want to see him get hurt. No. Obviously, no. I don't want to see Drew Brees get hurt. I just think if he's good to go, man, don't. Like, it shouldn't be a hesitation. There shouldn't be a thought. You know what I'm saying? If he's good to go, all right, let him go. But I just feel like this is too, like, it feels too rushed, Drew. Like, I think you're going to end up playing hurt, but I don't think this is the type of playing hurt that you want to play through.
Especially right before the playoffs. Like, let's say he comes in and maybe it's not this week, but maybe it's like next week or the week after, and then bang, he gets hit or slammed or something like that again. And now you don't have him for the playoffs. Like that's going to be huge. I mean, that could literally change the course of everything if Drew Brees is not there for the playoffs. But in
the NFC, because then you'll know that there's nothing there in New Orleans, no matter what seed they get.
Right.
They have a defense. They have no quarterback, and you could probably end up winning that game. So you'll look at it as a lost season for the Saints. Yeah. If Drew ends up being out for the playoffs, and
you just look stupid and be like, why did we push him? You know what I mean? Like, you should have just let him heal. Like, you guys have pretty much locked it up. You know what I mean? Like, okay, today you got a tough game. Okay, whoopee. And Tampa's not far behind, but I don't know. I feel like the Saints have an easier schedule the rest of the year.
Even if this is a tough game, it's not necessarily a tough game. It's just a really good team that you're playing, dude. Like, you don't have to. Like, I understand you want your best players out on the field, but I think with this is your franchise quarterback who's on his way out.
Right.
Who's probably on, like, this is probably their last ride with the Saints. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're looking at it, Sean Payton has like been slowly trying to retool this team into something post Drew Brees, and right now you only have so many shots left. I just think you need to be patient.
That's why I feel like
and allow them to come back when it's meaningful games, man. Because right now, the Saints pretty much locked up the division. Mm-hmm. They pretty much locked up number 2. I wouldn't know. I don't think I think they were going to end up losing if they had Drew Brees. Probably one of these upcoming games. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you lock up a playoff spot. You don't have to go ahead and put your guys in a position where they're vulnerable. And I think, just like we were talking about earlier on the Barely pregame show about will the Packers go ahead and play their starters the last week of the season against the Bears if they have number 1 seed tied up. You know what I mean? If they're smart, they wouldn't. But if you remember, like I said, I feel like putting the Bears out. It's not the most important thing, but putting the Bears out is a plus because what if you run into a team like that? Like we did the same scenario happened to the Bears in 2010.
Yeah.
Didn't knock the Packers out. They started their starters. They played like shit. They weren't able to knock the Packers out, and lo and behold, who beat you? Mm-hmm. In the playoffs, in the championship game. I just feel like teams with similar, that are familiar with certain teams.
Oh yeah.
And within the division, teams like that, like it's just no matter if you sweep the regular season series, right? No matter that. If you see them in the playoffs, it's a third time around. They know, like first of all, it's like an intimate relationship. They know what you're going to do.
Oh, yeah.
They know your game plan. They know your personnel. They know your players.
And I'm sure Green Bay takes a little bit of pride in beating the Bears too. Just like they do here. Like we live here in Chicago, and we know how big that rivalry is. And when the Bears beat the Packers, it's it's a party, whatever. But it's the same way in Green Bay. Like they know that the Bears are their second threat. They're actually their first threat. The Vikings and Lions are really, Vikings are up, down, up, down, up, down. You never know which one you're going to get, but they take pride in putting people out too. So, I don't know. If the Bears win, the Bears could possibly win out. I mean, they could. They definitely could. Like, if I'm Green Bay, like, I'm sorry, dude. I'm resting people. I'm not gonna take the chance of because I mean, we saw last night in that game, Aaron Rodgers took a tackle on the sideline and was bent over and his ankle was tweaked, and luckily he got up and walked off. But like, it's one of those dumb tackles away from changing the course of your season and your playoff run.
Well, who you got for that game? The Chiefs Saints. Like I said, it's going to be a big one. Number 1 overall offense with the Chiefs. The number 2 overall defense with the Saints, and that's something that we failed to mention because it's like the unsung unit of that Saints team is that defense. To be honest with you, they're good. They're really good. They're number 2 overall in the league. Good. So it's going to be fun. See if they can match speed with the Kansas City offense, but. To me, it's all Alvin Kamara. And now that you have Drew Brees back, you're not going to have Michael Thomas. You're going to have to hit Jared Cook. You're going to have to hit your secondary receivers, Emmanuel Sanders. Yeah. Those guys are going to be effective. I think it's going to come down to Alvin Kamara and what he could do with his all-purpose yards. Running, catching out of the backfield, shit. He might even throw a touchdown pass. The guy does it all. So, Alvin Kamara is going to be big for the New Orleans Saints, especially if you want to control clock and keep that Kansas City offense off the field.
Yeah, I mean, this is the perfect offense that the Chiefs are playing to expose the Chiefs. You know what I'm saying? Like, we saw the Raiders beat the Chiefs at their own game by throwing deep. And, now – and that was with, Derek Carr. Now you have Drew Brees. Like, if anybody can expose the secondary and with the passing, it's got to be Drew Brees. Like, the guy's – he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. He's good. He's going straight to the Hall of Fame after he quits. But and they've got the offense to put the pressure on Kansas City. And like I said, I mean, I bring it up every week. Like, just throw it at Sorensen. He can't do anything. Just I don't care who you put over there. Just somebody challenge him every time, and it's gonna work. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't even know who I want to pick in this one. I feel like my heart tells me like it's gonna be the Chiefs. Mm-hmm. Just because I think the Chiefs have a better run game and they have a two-headed monster. I know the Saints have Latavius Murray too, but Alvin Kamara is he's not like your just straight up running back. He's your Swiss Army knife. He does a little bit of everything. That's where the Chiefs have dedicated guys that are just running back. Le'Veon's probably going to catch a few passes out in the backfield, but I feel like the Chiefs running game gets going, and then I feel like they just open it up. So I'm gonna go 27-21 Chiefs.
27-21 Chiefs?
Yeah.
And so, I could see it being a close one. I could see points being scored in the second half.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of points being scored in the second half. I could see them just kind of testing each other out for a while.
Mm-hmm.
just feeling each other out, and then boom, an explosion. I'm gonna go. And this is tough. I just feel like Kansas City. We watched their games. We watched the past few weeks. They've even their losses. You know what I'm saying? We're like, man, they're lost.
Right.
They're lost
to the Raiders.
Even in that loss, it was like, man, this team doesn't. They're still a great team. It's just there's one thing, like there's just something that's not there. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something that's just different from last year. I mean, I could be wrong. I could be absolutely wrong. I feel like there's something when I'm watching them play. They just don't. I don't feel like if you get a team that ends up hitting Mahomes,
oh yeah, you're
gonna have problems.
Oh yeah, no, and that's hands down. I mean, that's that's it with Kansas City. I mean, like it goes through him. Like that's the thing that that should be your MO every time you play Kansas City, because you take him away, you take Tyreek Hill away. I mean, you take Mahomes away, you take almost everything away from Kansas City. If Mahomes can't throw, wow, you got Kansas City right where you want them.
Right.
I mean,
you just need to bother him.
They're not going to pound you.
You just need to attack him. You need to attack him. You need to be relentless in your pass rush. You need to send some dogs. You need to send some blitzes off the edge. And it's he could move. He's not. I mean, he's fast. It doesn't look like he's fast, but he could move because he's such a big a big man. You have to be able to contain. We talk about he could do what we talk about. Containing Kyler Murray or like Lamar. Don't let him beat you with his legs.
Yeah, he can extend plays.
His legs make his arm better.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes isn't that. He is just like he's a pocket passer
Right.
and he's an athlete.
Right.
Like he could do it all. So for me, you have to get home, or if you don't get home, man, you have to put him on the ground. If you have, not excessive,
At least let him know you're there.
not excessive, exactly, not excessive, but maybe you take a penalty.
Yeah.
To get a shot on the quarterback.
Right.
Maybe you take a penalty.
Right.
I'm not saying target. I'm not saying to go after him and hurt him. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying maybe
it just makes him
one
think.
to the chops.
It makes him think and maybe react a different way because he time is running out and he knows he's about to get it. So yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, like that's the exact thing you have to do. With Pat Mahomes, you have to get to him. You have to at least. I'm not saying you got to hit him every time, but at least maybe a push in the back or just put a hand on him just to let him know, like I almost had you, like we were almost there. Yeah, just something to put in the back of his head that okay, my time is.
Yeah, speed him up.
Exactly.
Because
force him into maybe a turnover.
Exactly, and they go fast.
Yeah,
they go fast. So you either have to. I wouldn't want to slow them down. Because they go fast, you need to speed it up, speed them up, and make them run into mistakes. That we were talking about Patrick Mahomes. Like he had 3 interceptions. Was it last week?
At Miami.
In a win, Miami was there with that with them. The thing is, and I think that's the difference. We're seeing teams stay in ball games with the Chiefs, whereas before we were just like, oh, this is over.
Yeah,
this is done. This is a wrap.
Yeah.
I feel like the Chiefs are going to win this game, as well. I think it's going to be a score of 24-23. I think it's going to be too close to call. Like I really do. If not, and now that you have Drew back, regardless of what we're saying, like I said, health-wise, but you know what I'm saying?
Fingers crossed.
Right? But as far as field generalship, being the leader of that team, being the franchise quarterback, Super Bowl champion, MVP, all that. I think Drew keeps him in the game.
For sure.
Drew keeps him in the ball game. Keeping it at a 1 point separation is just that's how close I think this ball game is going to be. I think Kamara, like I said, Kamara out of the backfield, Kamara in the backfield is going to be a major factor. But let's go ahead and move on to your game, dude. Big matchup in the NFC South. Again, another one. It's going to be the Atlanta Falcons, the Dirty Birds, versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady and the boys going ahead, and are they in Atlanta? Is this in Atlanta today? I believe so. Yeah, in the Mercedes, I almost said the Georgia Dome, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium. We've seen Atlanta. We saw them lose these a lot of fourth quarter comeback, or a lot of fourth quarters. We saw them blow games this year. They fired their GM and their head coach. They're in shambles. I just feel like Atlanta, through all this, you got to tip your cap to the team and the leadership. What leadership is on that team. I don't know. I don't know their locker. We don't know their locker room.
Right.
They've stood the course. They've made it to this point, and they're not bad. Like they've upset a couple teams. They've looked good in spots.
40 a couple times.
Yeah, if they put up 40 a couple times, and they look good in spots, but. This is a game where I don't think they're gonna amount to much.
Well,
I think the BUCS in this game they're gonna realize their opportunity, and I think the BUCS are gonna go ahead and steamroll the Falcons. I have a feeling that the Falcons are gonna get desperate early. You're gonna run into an interception. You're gonna get an interception, a fumble, something of that sort, and you're gonna see You're going to see Tom Brady and the Buccaneers go ahead and just pour it on. I don't think you have you bring a guy like Tom Brady in and he doesn't say anything before a game like this because you're playing for your playoff life.
Yeah, 100%.
The BUCS are playing for their playoff life.
Yeah.
So a game like this, I don't give a shit. I'm expecting Tom to say something. Mm-hmm. You would expect the greatest quarterback of all time to say something.
Yeah,
and I expect them to be like, "Hey, you need to forget the next couple weeks, forget second chances.
Right.
This game right here puts us in a step forward because even with the Saints loss, right?
Yeah, still back.
Saints loss. I think it's pretty much done. But even with the Saints loss, you're gaining confidence. You're watching a division foe that's probably has a good chance of losing. Has a good chance of losing, and you possibly could see in the playoffs. lose.
Right.
And you're like, all right, now we're gaining more. That's in the psyche of a team. It's momentum. It's all about, all right, we're gaining this. It's all about, all right, boom, we got the advantage here. This is any type of advantage. You know what I'm saying? It's all in your head. Even if there is no advantage, you're looking for anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's real easy. I think it's Tom Brady that separates. That's the difference in this game. I really do.
Yeah, I'm not so confident.
I don't believe you.
All right.
I don't believe you.
Well, also, the big reason why is because Ronald Jones did COVID protocol. So
right.
Without him, I just don't see their run game being a threat. Whether it be with Fournette or whoever else they want to throw back there. And like I said, man, Atlanta, their record is deceiving because they do still have Julio Jones, they do still have Calvin Ridley. Like they can still put up points.
They're playmakers.
They can still put up points. And over the year, this season especially, Tampa's been susceptible to those teams that have guys that can bust out big yards. Like those receivers, they have problems. They're saying 34-28 here on the broadcast, but
I know that was a Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a Super Bowl.
But I just don't know. Without Tampa's run game, we saw what happened to Tampa when they couldn't run against the Saints or whoever it was when they only ran 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
And they just don't. They're not built to throw the ball 40, 50 times. Like they have to have that run game to complement. And without that run game, oh man, I don't know. I mean, maybe I think Atlanta is bad enough where they do have a pretty good shot at winning.
They have the 26th ranked defense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a lot closer than a lot of people think. I'm going to put it at 28-24, and I'm going to go Tampa.
28-24 Tampa. I mean, close games in between, between divisional rivals. I mean, that's common.
It's going to come down to turnovers.
That's common. It's going to come down to turnovers, and if they can establish some type of a run game.
Yeah, they have to do something.
Because, like I said, if
they don't run, they better get everybody.
If Tom could go ahead and if they could find a way to go ahead and control the clock, and not try to keep pace with the Falcons, because the Falcons can score at will too. Mm-hmm. Don't try to keep pace. Just control the clock. Control the clock. Long drives, and you're going to wear out the Atlanta Falcons defense, and then you're going to be able to bust it out, bust it over the top.
Yeah. Late
in the game, and I know Jones is out, but you have to find a way. You have Fournette. You're going to have to use some of your other running backs. It's going to be a team effort as far as a run game is concerned, because it is you have to. Tom isn't that. He's not young anymore.
Right.
He can't throw it 52 times, it's just his arm isn't. It's just not going to do it.
You're also upping the risk of him taking a shot.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, by letting him pass that much. It's by passing that much, you're setting yourself up for somebody beating your man and then wham, and then we have a Drew Brees situation. You know what I mean, where he's broken ribs and punctured lungs, and or just injuries. Period. I mean, it doesn't matter because once Tom goes down, that's it. Like the experiment's over. Maybe he's going to come back next year. He's going to sign a 2-year deal, but is the rest of that team going to come back? I've already seen things of Levante David leaving. Just mock stuff, but it's going to be tough. Like this defense, man, you may not have this whole complete defense next year. So this is it. I mean, this is their shot right now. So they've got to do whatever they can. But like I said, that run game, like, it's really got me nervous just because I don't trust Fournette enough to carry it, and then they're going against Todd Gurley too. So and this is the Todd Gurley 2.0, if you will. But
I mean, Todd Gurley 2.0, like I think he's still like a year out. He can still do damage. He can still do damage. I think he's a year out from actually looking decent. I mean, he can still do damage. I just feel like he doesn't have that breakaway speed anymore after the knee.
No.
He might find a little bit of a resurgence next year. Like once you separate yourself from the initial injury, right? Once the years go by and you pass your type, it heals. It heals more and more. Like you can't really going back, and we've seen players time and time again rush an injury or come back the next season, and maybe they can play, but they're definitely not the same.
Right.
And then all of a sudden you see in 2 years, all of a sudden they're playing like
they never happened.
Like it never happened. It's insane to me. But I just feel like, with the Bucks, you have to find a way, dude.
Yeah.
You have to find a way. I think Tom needs, like I said, I think Tom has them. He should have them, and the defense should have themselves up because they're a top 10 defense. That team should keep itself. Yeah, it's a division game, but this game, like I said, if the Saints lose, you're actually one step closer to if the Saints lose again, you're pretty much tied for the division, and if they lose one,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
If they lose out, you're on top, but you got to win out.
I don't think they're on top. No, they got the division regardless because they won twice.
Yeah, Tampa. Yeah, they beat
Tampa
twice.
that's right. No. So I mean, you'll still be tied in division, but you'll have the same record. You know what I'm saying? Like you're like, hey, they might have won, but look, we're at the same record.
Right.
If they catch them in the playoffs, I think it'd be third time's a charm for the Bucks. I really do know. So. I really do because you've seen that.
You got blasted.
You've seen that, dude. When teams that are familiar with each other play each other, more than twice, more than once. You know what I'm saying? Well, we know the division.
Right.
But if they play each other, let's say they play NFC opponent faces an AFC opponent, and then they meet in the Super Bowl. They'll go back. Like there'll be a huge difference from game to game. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're talking about a division foes that have to play each other twice, and then they're going to get a third game.
Yeah.
So you're going to have so much footage to go off of.
And you've got that bad taste in your mouth of getting beat twice in the season. So. If it does come down that third time, it's like if Tampa isn't up for that game, then I'm gonna go quit. But
I'm gonna go Tampa Bay 28, Atlanta. I'm gonna go 16. Yeah, Tampa Bay 28, Atlanta 16. I just think Tom Brady's he has to have those guys motivated. This is a huge game for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't care what anybody says. You have to beat this team. Like, I know how bad of a season they had, but they're still a live dog.
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're still looking for something. They're looking for something. They're looking for something.
Right.
They're looking. Yeah, the Bucs defense is still good, but the Atlanta Falcons, as bad as they've been, they're still looking for something. They're still fighting.
Yeah.
So you can't just look past.
Well, a lot of those guys too are probably playing for jobs because, we know how when a new head coach comes in, players don't fit schemes. And they're Matt Ryan, I wouldn't even be surprised to see him cut loose. You know what I mean? Like
they've been talking about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. But like a new head coach, sometimes players don't fit their schemes, and it's bye. So I mean, it's the same thing that we were talking about that Chicago game. Is a lot of these guys are going to be playing hard because it's actually an interview. You know what I mean? Like it's like you're playing for your next contract. That's what it is. So I look for Atlanta to come ready to play. I think it's going to be a close game, but they got to play the games, and hopefully Tampa comes out on top.
All right, now we get to the Bears and the Vikings, and it's we have the same headaches. Not only because we're hungover, but because our football teams are pretty much they do the same dumb shit.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like our football teams pretty much do the same dumb shit. And look, I'm just gonna say it, the Bears have a shot. The Bears have a real shot because they just need to win, period. You just need to win. I have them blowing out the Vikings today, and I have looking at it from in this perspective, the progression, even with the loss in Detroit, even we talk about the blowout in Green Bay. The blowout in Green Bay was more on the defense than it was on the offense. Even though the offense, we have to blame them. Yeah, we have to blame them.
Right.
You didn't score in the red zone.
Right.
That's the whole team's to blame.
Mm-hmm.
Then you saw 30 points. You saw the defense let them down again late in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to see the progression. Then you see the Texans game. There was nobody on the Bears sideline that wasn't up.
Right.
Nobody on the field that wasn't on 130.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, they were up.
So I look for that to carry over, man. Like momentum and belief late like this when you have a shot. We've seen teams make a surge.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen teams that probably shouldn't have made the playoffs make the playoffs late.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes they make a nice little run. I'm not saying the Bears are going to do that. I'm just saying if the opportunity is there, why not try to take it?
Yeah, like we just talked about. We know what's coming in the offseason for the Bears. Like there's going to be some firings. There's going to be some guys. And like I said, it's the same thing. Some of those guys are playing they're basically interviewing right now too. because you don't know what's going to happen when a new coach or a new regime comes up there in Chicago in the front office up there. So, and that defense, like I said, it's only going to be together for so long. Like great defenses like that, they only last so long before players are noticed. Other teams come knocking, free agency comes. Some teams willing to give your guy astronomical amount of money that you're like, what? No, we're not gonna pay it, and they're gone.
Well, sometimes teams will do that to screw with you. To screw with you.
Why
you know
not?
what I mean? But, like, inflate the price on
guys.
For
sure.
It's dirty pool.
Right, yeah.
Dirty pool.
But I mean, that's the business. You know what I mean? That's the business. So, Chicago, man, I mean, I don't want to say that they obviously look better against the Texans, obviously. But
trust me, I don't think anybody wants to say, you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't think I'm struggling to be like, and they still have playoff hope. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, and they still have playoff hope. So let me cover my face as I say it. You know what I mean? But it's real.
Yeah.
It's there. It's available.
Oh no, it's there's no getting away from it. I mean, that's what it is. But I don't know, man. I just don't trust those guys, man. I have a hard time picking them for anything. And I feel like today the rookie is going to give them headaches. And I have the Bears losing 30-21.
30-21. Like,
I think Jefferson and Cook is just too much for them.
They're without Jalen Johnson, but I think they're gonna put Kyle Fuller on Jefferson.
They're gonna have to.
I think Kyle Fuller needs to focus on him.
And then you leave Thielen wide open.
Yeah, but I feel like Jefferson.
Yeah, he's probably going to do more damage.
He's more physical. Like, Kyle Fuller's physical. He's physical. I feel like that's probably the best matchup. Mm-hmm. Because Thielen's still a threat, but this Jefferson kid, man, he's everywhere, bro. Like, he's everywhere. He's everywhere. He's the truth. Justin Jefferson is the truth at receiver in Minnesota, number 19. Like, he's entertaining, bro. He's entertaining. Like, we saw him throw Eddie Jackson to the ground. Yeah. Just throw him like a kid. Like, just get off of me. Yeah. And it's gonna be tough without Jalen Johnson. You're gonna have a sub on the other side. I think that he's your biggest playmaking threat.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's simple. I mean, we all know what everybody needs to do. It's just, can you do it? And that's just stop Dalvin Cook, because Kirk Cousins isn't gonna beat you with his arm.
Well, they got Akeem.
Yeah,
Akeem.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying, like, it's Dalvin Cook. That's the MO on this, to stop them. If you stop him, you make Kirk Cousins throw 40, 50 times, you're gonna get a pick, maybe 2, just because that's just Cousins. I mean, that's just who he is. So if you can stop Dalvin Cook, I know it's a big if. It's just the guy's just so good. It's hard to contain that guy. But if you can limit him in any shape, form, or fashion, then you have a real shot of beating these Vikings. And that to me, I think that's the MO you got to have. It's just like, he's got to be your guy. You got to key in on him, put somebody on him. If you got to spy the running back. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's like, do something to slow him down and keep his production down.
You just said you. I think you're right. I mean, you have what I said. Akeem Hicks coming out of that last game was huge, because then Dalvin started running all over. So him being back is going to be a major factor in the success of the Bears defense today against Dalvin Cook. But, it comes down to the offense, man. Like, it really does. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot more of what we've been seeing. And I think that the Vikings the Vikings defense is old and slow. I truly believe that. I think they're old and slow, and they're susceptible. If you get them running left to right, and then boom up the field, and left, you got to keep them. You got to keep them moving consistently, and you need long dragged out drives. You need to be able to run the football.
Yeah, and Montgomery has to be a huge part of the offense today, or else it's all for naught.
All for naught, man. It truly is, because I don't know why anybody would want anybody else at tailback. The guy never quits. Right. Like, that's who I want running the football. If I got 2 yards, I want the guy that's gonna.
Oh, you don't want Cordell at the goal line?
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I don't want the guy. Look, when it comes to 1 yard, and I was talking about this before. If you got a 4th and 1, and you got a Tasmanian devil in the backfield, don't you want to give him the opportunity for that one? Yeah. Don't you want to give him the opportunity to go ahead? Every time David Montgomery gets the ball, like majority of the time, the first guy's not even there. He's breaking the first tackle. The guy has the most. I believe he still has the most broken tackles. He did have the most broken tackles in the league a couple weeks ago, but the guy is just tenacious when he runs, man.
No,
I love watching David Montgomery. He deserved well-deserved. Like, I was happy for him on that 80-yard touchdown run last week.
Yeah.
I just think that the success of the Chicago Bears is within the legs of David Montgomery right now. Right now. He has to you have to put emphasis on, hey man, like I know what it's doing for Mitch.
Exactly.
But we got to get David the ball. We got to get him the ball. We got to go ahead and work off of him, and go ahead and let the defense do its thing. The Vikings can score quick, but like I said, Kirk Cousins will run into some problems.
Oh yeah,
you have to be able to hit him.
Oh yeah, they'll get pressure on him today. I look for Cousins to throw a pick today, but that defense it's just too good, And with Hakeem, that's gonna take away a lot of those interior runs that Cook does. I think Cook's still gonna be effective to the outside on either side, but no, you're gonna take away those in between the tackle runs, and they have to, like you said, they have to pressure Cousins, and I think they will, and I think Cousins will throw a pick because of it, and maybe even a fumble. I mean, we may see another fumble return or whatever. So, man. Chicago. I mean, Chicago. They have nothing to lose. So I mean, it's like Pagano. Just say go. Just say go,
Chuck. Like, there's no need to hold back now. It's every week is do or die. Even next week against the Jaguars. I hope you don't. I hope they're not laying down against the Jaguars. That would be. You would have to fire everybody next week. You'd have to if they lose to the Jaguars.
Oh my God, yeah.
You'd have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I think the Bears blow them out. I think the Bears blow them out. You still have a team. You still have a solid foundation.
No.
And I feel like if just a little bit of a retooling, restaffing.
Yeah.
I think that might be the difference, especially for some of these players, man. I'll use the Bulls as an example.
Mm-hmm.
You take out Jim Boylan, who was just cancerous to his players. I never seen a coach be the problem.
Right.
I never thought I would see that. Whoa, it's not even the players. You can't even criticize the players for anything. It's the head coach.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same kind of once you get rid of that and you bring in a competent guy, you hear it in the interviews, you hear it from the players, you hear their confidence in that coach. You hear it, and he doesn't even, the coach doesn't even have to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It's just it's known.
Yeah, it's felt.
It's felt. So it's you got to find a guy like that.
Yeah,
you got to find a guy like that.
I think they will. And I think that it'll.
I just think that that's gonna make that'll be the switch, man. Look at Lowry.
It could.
Look at Lowry. He's been saying, "Oh, I feel great." Look at what Zach LaVine said. And this is, and like I said, I'm comparing it to that because the difference in how the players feel and how they want to play,
mm-hmm.
and they want to play for you. When players want to play for you, they'll do whatever they'll do whatever you tell them. They'll go through fire for you.
Right.
And on the football field, but metaphorical fire.
Right.
But it is that, and you need that, and I just don't see it with this head coach.
No, he's gone, man. He's out of there. I really feel. I know a lot of people are saying maybe it's just one, either Pace or Nagy, but I have a feeling it's both. It might be the hat trick. It might be all three of them. So I think the Chicago fan base has made enough noise now to where the McCaskies are like, oh shit, we better do something. We better do something soon. This is our players are wanting to bail. We ran Robinson out of town. I
don't know if you see. The thing is, I don't know if you run Robinson out of town.
I think
because what if it's the coach? Literally, what if it's the coaches and the GM that are the problem? What if players have an issue there?
Yeah, but I think
I understand what Robinson is money. But Allen, let's be real. This franchise gave you a shot.
Yeah.
Why don't you have some faith in them? Are you?
Well, I think the big.
And I understand you're one play away from getting hurt. You signed a I don't know what to tell you. Like, you can negotiate.
Mm-hmm.
You could be pissed off all you want, but you're in a contract year. Shouldn't you be focused on playing to that? Like, playing beyond beyond your normal standards.
Right.
Shouldn't you focus on that? Because if, let's say, you're not out, let's say you're not in next year with the Bears, somebody else has got to pick you up.
Right.
Somebody else has got to see something from you.
Right.
Allen Robinson is a great receiver. He's just not I just don't see paying him the money that he wants as being smart.
Yeah, I don't think it's smart. But that's what he wants. And I think the other thing is too is like, unless something changes that quarterback position, he's not coming back.
No.
I mean, there's no why he doesn't want to. He wants.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. He's Mitch's favorite target. Like if the quarterback's there that's throwing you the ball all the time, I'd be happy. Yeah. Like if I were a receiver, I'd be like, I'm getting the ball all the time from this guy. I'm able to eat. I
just think Chicago, like I said, let's say he does leave, and then you do keep these two dinglings for quarterback that you have. I just don't see free agents like really do it because they're gonna be like, no, dude.
No,
like,
not with them.
I've seen what they do, and I don't want any part of that. Like I want to work. I want to get yards. I want to be. You
want to be succful. You don't want to be a part of a rebuild or a retooling. That's just long, and it takes up majority of your career.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes up years.
Like I said, I feel like they're going to address the quarterback situation in the offseason. I think they have to. And it may be a completely different offense next year.
Just run the football.
Well,
just run the football. You have a running back. Go get another running back. So we're not putting a receiver out at running back anymore.
Or just gassing out that one running
back.
Or
gassing out the one running back. I know Tariq's gonna will be back next season. We'll see where he's at. We'll see if he's We'll see if he's up to speed. We'll see if he's up to Tariq's speed again. The thing is that you need another running back. You need to go ahead.
You need another guy that can run between the tackles.
That's what I'm saying. You got David Montgomery. You need a big back that can run between the tackles. I think you need a heavy back.
Yeah, exactly. Someone that can put the pressure on. You got
your Mr. Everything in David Montgomery. Mm-hmm. You have your
Speedy.
You have the game breaker in Tariq Cohen. And now you need a bruiser to go ahead and close out games. You need a closer at the running back spot. And I think David is as much as I love David Montgomery, and he possibly could be a closer. I'd rather not use him as a battering ram at the end of games. And I want to save those legs. I don't want to beat him up. So find a guy that is built for that.
Like equivalent would be like Baltimore's Gus Edwards.
Yeah.
The third guy. You got Ingram and Dobbins, and then you got Gus. You know what I mean? So it's like a guy like that could just, we see the same three-headed monster in LA with the Rams. With all three of their backs. So I mean, they have a couple of those guys, Henderson and what's the guy that starts for the Rams?
Oh, Jared Goff.
No.
Akers, Cam Akers.
Yeah. So you got those two big boys, and then they're bringing the third guy. So I mean, that's what I feel that they need, because they need, and even short yardage. Like let him just go in there. Like just give him a 5-yard head start and just let him go straight
and
ahead.
As much as I like Cordell Patterson, don't get me wrong, man. Like he's doing a great job filling in. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's just that I would rather him come in and just be used sparingly. Not so much as you're going to be their number 2 running back. I don't like that. Like I like putting him in the slot. I like bringing him in the backfield. I like doing I like doing different things with Cordero. Mm-hmm. But right now it just seems like when Cordero's coming in, he's probably going to run the ball. Right.
And you don't want that guy 4th and 1 on the goal line. Like, because we see how he runs. His running style is upright. Mm-hmm. You need a guy that can get low and get down behind that line and push. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, they'll figure it out. It is what it is. They'll figure it out. But like I said, I feel like the Vikings might have their number today.
We'll see. Mitch started off good so far. 1 pass, 1 completion. Hey, they ran the ball 3 yards. I don't think they're going to pick up the first down. It's 3rd down right now. But hey, big game started, guys. Go ahead and enjoy it. We will see you guys at the half of Bears and Vikings, and also BUCS and Falcons. Until then, I'm Ivan Vargas. That's Luke Nettles. You've been watching the Basement Monsters Game Day podcast on SportsZone Chicago. We'll see you at the half.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Straight cash, homie.
Hold on to your butts.